August is National Water Quality Month, and here in Michigan, protecting our water is especially important.
Well, joining us is Dr. Carol Miller from Wayne State University to talk about where things stand and what we should know. Welcome, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you having me here this morning.
Of course. How would you describe the overall grade of Michigan's water quality right now?
Well, personally, I would grade it very highly. And I would also mention that even though this is Water Quality Month, that's what August is, we also should think about water quantity. And Michigan is water wonderland, water everywhere. So in terms of quantity, we are extremely fortunate to have such a large excess of fresh water here in Michigan. But getting back to the quality question, quality in Michigan, I would say, is very good, but it's somewhat of a subjective question. As engineers, we look to major organizations, professional organizations, to give us the pulse of our water quality in the region. And it's the American Society of Civil Engineers, ASCE, that sort of grades the water infrastructure in the region. And the American Society of Civil Engineers in 2025 came out both with a national report card and a state-by-state report card. And in the US, the water quality is rated overall a C, whereas in Michigan, it's rated a C minus. So you can talk about what my perception as an expert in water quality is, but then also sort of the community that's grading water.
Yeah, so what are the factors that go into that? Because obviously, you mentioned we have so much water, access to fresh water here in Michigan as a whole. But of course, that even means more that it is so important for us to make sure that water is safe and also quality water for the folks that live in this area. So I guess, what are they grading that on, and what should we be looking at when we talk about water quality?
Yeah, well, in terms of the water quality, they're grading really three categories of water. One is stormwater, another is wastewater, and then another is drinking water. So there's three different types of water classifications that get graded. And actually in wastewater, we're doing better than the national. But what goes into that grade? A lot of different types of water quality measurements, but also, and one of the things that impacts Michigan's grade a lot, is the cost for deferred maintenance. In Michigan, many of our water systems are over 100 years old, which means that it is going to take a lot of money and effort to get the systems equipped for the next 50 years. So one of the reasons that Michigan gets, I'd say, a so-so or lower grade in the area of water quality is not because the water quality today is terrible. No, I never want anyone to worry in that way about water quality in Michigan. But one of the primary reasons that the grade is low is that we need to invest more money in our water infrastructure to make sure that we're ready for these more intense rainfalls, that we're ready for emerging contaminants like PFAS and pharmaceuticals and personal care products, microplastics, and different types of these forever chemicals that are coming into our water systems. So again, I would say today, if you get a chance, you go out to the beach and you enjoy the water. You drink the water. We have very good water quality here, but we have to be prepared for the future.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest threats you would say that water quality here in Michigan faces? I know that PFAS and, of course, lead are big conversation topics too.
Yeah, PFAS is a big one. It's on most everybody's radar. The state of Michigan, Eagle, has a special section devoted to PFAS, but there are others. I mean, there's some that we've heard in the news recently, like Legionnaire's disease, caused by impurities and biological agents that are in the cooling water systems and then get into our body through aerosols and droplets. So there's a wide variety, and that's one reason also that it's so hard to track and to make sure you're always on top of water quality issues is because there are so many different concerns and very different types of chemicals. You treat each one very differently.
Yeah. Can you talk about some of the risk? I know that PFAS is a big conversation here on the western half of the state. Specifically, we know in Kent County, we know in Kalamazoo County, several counties are dealing with PFAS contaminants, or those forever chemicals, or so they're called. Can you talk about what that does to the water quality? What should people know about that as they move forward?
Well, one thing is that there are thousands of different types of PFAS. So it's not as though PFAS itself is a single chemical. It's a huge class of chemicals. Some of those we actually have already health related concentrations, so we can really watch whether the water is healthy or not. Some of the PFAS, there still is no health rating for, so we don't really know. But how to prepare for those? Well, our water utilities are testing for those like in real time, every minute to make sure that we're not getting PFAS in our water supply. And there are new types of treatment coming up. Even though we call it a forever chemical, there are new treatments coming up for PFAS. So I'd say it's something we need to be extremely diligent about, and it can cause the health effects are still being looked at. But we're doing some work here at Wayne State and University of Michigan, seeing some link to cancer and other types of health impacts.
Yeah, when we talk about just water quality in general, and it's water quality month here, it's something that we need to keep in the conversation year round, not just in the month of August. What would you say to the folks listening at home when we're talking about water quality? What should they pay attention to, and what should they be looking out for in terms of that water quality?
Yeah, well, one thing I would say is that there's a lot you can do in your own home if you're concerned about the water quality. One thing is to make sure that you run the water in your faucet for a minute or two before you actually use it, even if you're going to boil it or you're just going to drink it. Um, we often suggest that people not take the first flush of water out of their line. So that's one thing. And of course, if you're in a region where you know that there is a water quality concern, I would strongly urge you to look into a type of filter in your home so that you can filter the water before you're drinking it or using it.
All right. Dr. Carol Miller with Wayne State University, we appreciate your time and expertise on National Water Quality Month. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you so much.